Joining me is Executive Director Christine Chrisman. Thanks for joining me, Christine.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Now, can you first start out by telling our viewers what is the definition of a watershed?
A watershed is actually an area of land that surrounds a body of water, so that when any rain or any precipitation or anything falls on that area of land, it's going to go into the same body of water. So you can have really big watersheds like the Great Lakes watershed. You can have small watersheds like just that surround a small stream and sort of everything in between. But it's actually the area of land that surrounds a water body.
Okay, now what is the history of your organization?
This is our 21st year of operation, so we've been a nonprofit for a little over 20 years. We started really as just a group of folks that were coming together that were looking to protect water quality, and it sort of turned itself into what it is. Our mission is to advocate for clean water in Grand Traverse Bay and act to protect and preserve its watershed. So we have a very specifically defined area. That's the Grand Traverse Bay watershed. It's about 1,000 square miles. And we have a lot of different programs and things that we do, but they're all focused on protecting the water quality that we have.
Now, what different aspects do you focus on?
There's really three main program areas that we have. The first is sort of our restoration on the ground project. So we do a lot of things where we are trying to mitigate stormwater or work on trying to keep sediment from getting into the bay, so some stream bank stabilization, things like that. We also do a lot of education and outreach for a lot of the things that we do, so trying to make sure that homeowners understand things that they can do to help protect water quality. So building a rain garden, managing their stormwater on their property, having a rain barrel, things like that. We try to let people know there are things that you can do as an individual that are also going to help protect the water quality. And then we do a lot of advocacy work. So we work with local representatives, we go sort of to the state level, anything to try to sort of be that eyes, ears, and voice for water quality in Grand Traverse Bay, making sure we have a seat at the table when anybody's talking about any project or anything that might affect the water quality we have in the area.
Now, over the last 20 years, has the condition of the water in Grand Traverse Bay here changed?
Things have changed here. It's rather complicated. We do live in a really great area where we have relatively good water quality and have for the last 20 years. So one of the things that we try to do is protect and preserve what we have. So we don't really tend to have those really big disasters or things that you would see in some areas like, let's say, Lake Erie. So we have pretty good water quality. It's actually a blessing and a curse. So it's a great thing for us to have it, but it also can be difficult for people to understand that it's a really, really important resource that we have that we need to protect and preserve.
Now, do you have any goals or projects that are going on right now?
One of the big projects that we have is the Kids Creek Restoration Project. So we've been doing it for several years. We have several years more of funding. It's over by Munson Medical Center and sort of the Commons area here in Traverse City. One of the big things that we've done over the last couple of years is actually daylight a portion of Kids Creek. So it used to go underground, and we sort of moved it over and moved it out into the open, sort of in partnership with Munson Medical Center as they were building a new cancer center. So we've also been able to do some great things at that cancer center, having a green roof, having rain gardens and things like that as they're building that project. So we're sort of slowly moving upstream in that area and trying to get all of the sediment and nutrients and stuff out of, that are going into that creek, which eventually runs out into the bay. We're trying to take control of some of those issues.
Now, is it common to have organizations such as yours?
There are there's a lot of different like-minded organizations throughout the state. So you can have anything from, the Friends of such and such river. So there's, Friends of the Rouge River or those sorts of things. There is another large watershed council that's similar to ours that's over, they're actually called Tip of the Mitt Watershed. They're over in the Tip of the Mitt area. And then there's some small citizen-driven organizations and things too, so lake associations and things where the folks that live around a common water body kind of come together and help to try to protect the water that they live on.
Now, I'm sure a lot of your funding is grants and donations.
Yes, grants and donations are two big sources of funding. We have a general operating budget where we, use a lot of the donations and things that we have come in. And then depending on the funding we can get to do other large restoration projects, we've received grants up to $1 million to try to do some of those really big projects where that money kind of comes in and then we give it to the folks to actually do the work.
Thanks for joining me, Christine. Very interesting.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Paula, Jasper, -26, Watershed Center in Traverse City.